Well, hey, and it is here. There it is. Oh my gosh, that's heavy. All right. Yeah, I think you were looking at it the right way. All right. Well, I think you know what it is. The Beatles In Mono 2025 edition vinyl box set. Let's open up this box and see how it all looks. Stay tuned after the intro. Yes, let's crack this bad boy open. I have been so looking forward to this. Of course, we ordered it way back in May, very end of May. I think it was the 29th. And we got that email. If you were lucky enough to be on that email list for the pre-order, it was a no-brainer once I realized this wasn't a fake email. I got right into ordering it. I was so shocked when I saw it that, you know, is this for real? What's going on? Well, let's just take a look here. I think I'll show you again the shipping box here and just kind of show you how I'll kind of give you a little view there. I think that should be showing up. But yeah, that's the shipping box that came in, and we'll pull it out here, hopefully. Whew. Gonna get my workout. I think what I'll do is this. All right. We'll get it upside down. Ooh, there we go. I already saw Beetle Dave's Beatles channel, or Beetle Dave's, yeah, Beetle Dave. You know who you are. Yeah, I didn't shave either, so I'm too excited for this. All right. So there we go. We got it out of the big box. Now we got the foam and everything here. Yeah, everything looks great. I was so surprised. I got an email Thursday that it was shipping, that the label had been created. I've been hearing, I guess now, that there's some people that have been getting that's delayed until September. I'm very happy I wasn't one of those because I have been so looking forward to this. But let's get the foam pieces off here. There's one foam. Oh, boy, this thing is a beast. Two foam. Of course, in 2014, when this originally released, I was not collecting vinyl. I wouldn't have had the money for it anyway at the time, let alone it. Just kind of show you here. Very loosely wrapped in this other kind of cardboard protector. Kind of show you that. I'm going to put it back down on the ground, though, because I know there is a slip sleeve on it, and I don't want it slipping out of my hands. So I'll get it back down on the ground to pick it up here. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's the back that you're seeing. There is the front. Holy cow. There's the side there. And pretty much the same deal on that side, but I'll show you. Like I said, I'm getting my workout today. Oh boy. Let's get it out of the slip sleeve. I'm going to put it back on the ground to do that. A lot of this is going based off of the ground. The slip sleeve I'm not going to throw quite like I've been throwing those other boxes, but there's the slip sleeve off. We'll put that guy over here. Nice and gentle on that one. All right, I've been so excited to see this. I've been wanting this forever. I think a lot of people that didn't get it back in 2014 are kind of in the same thing. It seems like all of us have got the same story. Wasn't collecting vinyl back then. Didn't have the money to afford it anyway. Stuff like that. It seems like anybody that didn't get this in 2014, that's what is going on. And, you know, once we did all get started collecting vinyl again, you go and look at the price of it. And, like, I remember looking at this. I remember shopping for it back then. And just kind of to give you the dates on it, too, it was, I've got here, of course, originally the CD came out, the CD In Mono CD, which I would say is kind of the same box set in theory, but of course that's the digital remasters from 2009, still the mono mixes on it, but digital source. The story on this and why the stereo vinyl box set isn't as well received is because the stereo vinyl box set was done with the 2009 digital remasters put onto vinyl. They went back to the analog tapes. And that is the big story on this, and that is why this has become such a legendary box set. And, you know, now, knowing collecting vinyl, and especially Beatles vinyl. I never, the only of the 2009 stereo vinyls that I've got is the A Hard Day's Night 60th anniversary white vinyl that just came out last year for the National Album Day in the UK. I did pick up a copy of that. That's the only one that I own, because everything I've heard, you know, they're not great. I honestly feel, I'm not the biggest audiophile, so I feel like if I did get it, I probably wouldn't be as upset with it as some people are. But yeah, this is AAA, analog to analog to analog. Beautiful thing, 180 gram vinyl, original UK flipbacks and labels. Aside from one, obviously, well, two, I guess, in a way. Let's see. I was trying to get all the stats here. 2000 or September 9th, 2009. We got that CD in mono box set. The vinyl one came out. I've seen everything saying from September 9th of 2014. I believe that is Wikipedia claims that. Discogs claims just September of 2014. They don't have an exact date. And then I saw on Amazon, they listed it as June 18th of 2014. Maybe that was when the pre-orders were open. So I'm not sure the exact date this was released. I find it hard to believe it was released also on September 9th, just 5 years later from the In Mono CD box set. But yeah, same kind of concept design-wise here. At least, you know, appearance-wise, how the box works is completely different. It does, of course, got this nice little flip-up lid. And you're seeing it just as fresh as I'm seeing it. So we still got the little silica gel anti-moisture things sitting on top there. And just kind of show you the album sitting in there. Kind of show you the spine on that side there with the spines there. And yeah. So you're thinking, do I want to show you the backside and the sides and everything? It pretty much, there's the backside. So I'm going to flip this back open. And we're going to start pulling out the contents kind of one by one here. So I'm not going to lift up this heavy monster of a box again. So as you kind of probably saw sitting at the front there, we do got the foam. Just kind of keep everything held in place nice and good. So definitely want to hold on to that. A little shocked. We got the book, which to me is a big seller on this, is this nice hardback book. I'm going to say this here. I was thinking about it. I didn't write any notes down on it, but when the last year when the 1964 US albums in mono box came out, that was one of my big things. They were charging $300 for it, and it didn't contain anything like this. To me, if it had a nice hardback book at $300, I think it would have been a great buy. But it didn't contain this, and I never got that, and I've been upset with it ever since. And you know, and this is, you know, $500 and some here in the US, 545, I want to say, something like that, or maybe a little more. I know mine with the shipping came out and taxes came out to about 604 overall. So that, you know, but you know, so many more albums, plus you get the hardback book, a much nicer box even, and I think this is well worth the money. And I'm not even taking into consideration resale value on this, because this is my little baby. This is going to be with me till the day I die. I don't even care, you know, if, you know, resellers are selling this for $1,000 already, $1,500, whatever I've been hearing. I don't care. That doesn't bug me. Doesn't bug me one bit. I'd imagine if I had a 2014 edition of this, and, you know, I was seeing people get this 2025 edition, I wouldn't feel mine was devalued or anything like that. Because to me, I'm not looking at this as an investment. I'm looking at it as an addition to my collection, my beautiful Beatles collection, physical media collection. And yeah, that's just what it is. So, all right, I'm talking too long, and I'm trying not to hopefully edit this as much. This is shrink wrapped. I think I am going to open mine because I know I'm going to be looking at the book. So I'm going to get this shrink wrap off of it. I'm going to just take the pen knife I used here, because there's nothing really I want to save too much on this. I'll get this a little further down because I think I can just tear it off then. And because obviously I want to look at the book. I'm curious if it's anything similar to the book that came in the 2009 In Mono stereo box. And I'm not going to show you everything in the book. I'll show you kind of the front, the spine, the back. Just completely white back there. We'll open it up and look at a few pages here. Oh wow, that's a cool picture there. Already, I'll just kind of flip it to a few of the pictures there. Wow, that's really cool. Just a few kind of sections. Oh, the Sgt. Pepper's one, that is awesome. And let's go one more. There we go. And we'll call it good there. But there is the hardback book. Put that there for now and move on to the first of the albums. And these all came in this beautiful resealable plastic sleeve, so that is really awesome. Oh, just seeing it in person, I didn't even look at that at first. How much of a difference that LP size makes on that album cover, and just how brilliant this printing is on it and everything in the flip backs. Show you there. I'm going to get it out of the sleeve though, and we can look at it just a little better. Actually, no, I'm not, because I don't want to pull and get everything out. So we'll just look at it through the sleeve here. But yeah, you got the resealable sleeve there. Sorry for the noise. And we'll kind of pull it out just a little and pull the album out. I'm going to just set that there for right at the moment. And each one of them does come with this little booklet, individual for the album itself. Then the back with all the albums in there. And then the inside. I don't know if I'm going to show you every single one of these, because I want to try to make this as quick as possible. And then they all come with this pretty much just plain white inner sleeve that is poly lined. Oh, and I got mine upside down. I guess how I laid it there. And then of course they are, oh wow, that 108, you can feel that weight. Beautiful, beautiful. There is that black and gold Parlophone label that we know that some of the Please Please Me albums did come out on. PMC 1202. My dyslexia was getting to me there. All right. Oh, God, these are beautiful. And, of course, these were pressed at Optimal Media in Germany, which tends to be one of the better pressing plants. So I'm hoping there's no flaws. That's been one thing I know I've seen a lot of stuff lately coming out. And, you know, these big box sets like this, and, you know, people are getting flaws and stuff in the labels, or, you know, something like that. So that's one thing I've been curious on. You know, spending just a little over $600 to get this box, you know, am I taking a risk of getting a flawed one? I know the Paul McCartney box, the singles box that came out a little while back, that had some issues, and some other ones too have had some issues. So I'm curious to see anybody that got this new version, if you had any issues with it. And that's part of why I'm making this video, because I want to show what mine's looking like, and hopefully it's completely flawless, because I'm already absolutely in love with it. Oh wow. And speaking of looking at with the Beatles, there we go, that iconic cover there. The flip backs, once again, I'll show you the back. I didn't even show you the spine on Please Please Me. I don't know how well that shows up on my camera any which way, but again, the little resealable sleeve. I'm just going to keep them all in the sleeve, because I watched Beatle Dave's and he looked like he was struggling getting them all back in. So obviously there's a couple of albums here. We're going to have to pull it out of the sleeve to get the album out. I'm not going to pull out that little pamphlet again. Like I said, that's going to be pretty standard on each, just set up for each of the albums. But here is now on the more standard Parlophone label, the yellow and black and silver. There's side 1 and side 2 with the Beatles. Absolutely perfect, flawless vinyl so far. And actually, I am going to pull it out just to show you that each is in there, included, and in good shape. As I said, I was kind of showing everything here. Plus, just to get the record back in, it's easier to pull that out. So, wow, that is so cool, seeing that mono on the top of each of these. So, of course, Hard Day's Night up next. There we go. And absolutely gorgeous. Wow, these look just beautiful. And, of course, they are the gloss covers. I didn't really pull that out. Next one up, we'll pull it out, and we'll see that a little better, because that one is a gatefold, and we'll have to pull it out to see that gatefold and everything. So we'll have to pull it out of the sleeve. But yeah, there's a Hard Day's Night. Flip backs again, absolutely beautiful. Everything is looking just perfect on every single one of mine so far. Very happy about that. Pull it out just a hair there. There's the little booklet thing with each of these. Now, one thing I am noticing obviously different from the 2014 one to this, I know the 2014 one had that advertisement for the Cirque du Soleil Love, I think, inserted with each disc, with each album. Obviously this isn't going to include that. So, as that show doesn't even exist anymore, the album's still out there and is one of the greatest little remix Beatles albums that there is. But there is A Hard Day's Night, side 1 and side 2. Okay, so up next we got Beatles For Sale. Absolutely awesome. Wow. Yeah, this just got justified on my picking this as my number 2 album art cover for the UK releases. That is just awesome, seeing that full LP size. Like I said, I don't have many of these UK ones on LP. So, you know, seeing this is kind of my first time. The best kind of example of the UK LPs that I've had has been the CD in mono box, because that did do the mini LP style sleeves, and they recreated even the flip backs and everything on that. But of course, that's CD scale, not you know, the full 12 by 12 LP scale. So just amazing. I'm going to show you this one again outside, and you can see it's got that high gloss cover. The inside here, the gatefold is the matte kind of finish, which is how the UK one should have been. Of course, the front and the back, you know, on this one, of course, the back is high gloss. Also, the other ones, though, with the flip backs on the back, it would be matte on the writing part there. So this one, of course, comes out the middle here. So let's pull that out. And there's the booklet even. Set the jacket up here. Take a look at the booklet here, just to kind of show you that it's there. LP in the sleeve. Oh, jeez. Every single one of these is just looking flawless. I am loving it. I'm loving to report that. There's side 1 and side 2. Just amazing. Just amazing. I'm going to wait and put that one back together. The gatefold's fighting with me on that one. So, of course, up next we got Help. Mono up in the corner. Back to just a standard sleeve here. There's the flip backs on the back and the matte finish on that. You can kind of see that through that, because the gloss on it kind of gives it kind of a yellowish, where that's got that more just pure white without the gloss on it. Let's pull this one out. Of course, there we got the little pamphlet for Help in the back there. So far, like I said, everything is looking hunky-dory and fantastic. Plain white sleeve with the polyline. There's side 1 and side 2, of course, still on the Parlophone. We're not going to see a difference on that until we get to Magical Mystery Tour, I believe. Okay, my favorite up next. How is that? Oh, God. I do have, this is one of the few albums I do have a UK copy of. I found one at a local record shop, but it was like a late 80s pressing, I want to say early 90s. So it's not this, and it's a stereo one, of course, on that. This one does not indicate mono on the front, though, does it? But the back it sure does, so there we go. And the flip backs, of course. And of course, that one that I have does not have the flip backs. And as a matter of fact, it's got a purple capital label on it, if I remember correct, where this is going to have your traditional Parlophone label. So there we go. Beatles Rubber Soul in mono. There's the booklet. Plain white inner sleeve, polylined. Let's see. Side 1 and side 2. And so far, everything is just looking absolutely flawless. They all look just nice and flat. I would hope that extra care was taken pressing these. Like I said, I've always heard optimal media is fantastic any which way. Most people, when anything gets released on them, everybody feels pretty secure, I think. And yeah, I had to edit that out, so I had to concentrate to get that in there. But yeah, wow, I can't wait to listen to that. And of course, up next we got Revolver. Oh geez, just so great seeing this. Yeah, that one does indicate mono up there. Of course, the back there with the flip backs. I don't know if I've been showing you the spine on all of them, but like I said, I don't think you can see it anyway, so I don't know, it's just kind of habit. I see everybody else do it. I think people want to see it maybe, so I make sure to show it with my videos. And let's get this one open. Pull the booklet out. Revolver in mono. There we go, there's the back. Polylined plain white inner sleeve. There we go, side 1 and side 2. Absolutely gorgeous again. All right, we got a big one coming up here. Oh boy, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band in mono. I just recently found my first copy of the US version of this, and that happened to be a mono pressing too, and I got it for a really good deal. But yeah, I'm just very excited to get an actual UK one, because this of course got the play out groove thing there, which the US one doesn't have, and just having this, and I do have the 50th anniversary edition of this on vinyl. Of course, this one I think we're gonna have to pull out of the sleeve, aren't we? Because we all want to see that gatefold. So there we go. Okay, show you everything again here. Oh God, this is just so gorgeous. And to have, you know, this beautiful box to house everything in and just keep everything nice and safe. And, you know, not that it isn't safe as it is individually in my collection either, but, you know, I just always feel a little more secure having a nice box like this. And of course we got the goodies with this one. I'm not going to pull this all the way out because I know I'm going to have fun pushing it back in. Well, I guess it'll probably be easier to push it back in this way. And you got your cutout mustache there. I know that's always a favorite of everybody's. And whatnot else there. I'll stay just like that with mine though. And let's take a look at the vinyl. Maybe. Ooh. Oh, I got it sitting part out way on a rug and part way on the bare floor there. Okay, there we go. The box was tipping over though, but there's side 1 and side 2 of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Oh, and what did we forget to look for? The little pamphlet. There it is. That's also in the same sleeve as the printed inner sleeve and the cutouts. Okay, Magical Mystery Tour up next. Of course, this is a Capitol release, US albums, and it has been kind of ushered in to the UK, the standardized kind of collection here. So this one will look a little different on everything. And this one's got, even for the US standards, it's got quite a different sleeve here. Just kind of curious how well they did reproducing the Capitol style, which didn't do the flip backs, obviously. They did more of that pasted on sleeve there, just kind of a plain white cardboard onto it, and then they would paste over this cover with the artwork and that. I know Beatle Dave said his was raised here. I don't feel it on this. I think you were feeling the glue there, Beatle Dave, because I don't feel that on this. And this does look pretty authentic to the, from what I can tell. Yeah, it is pasted on. I can see it. To my US pressings that I've got, for some reason, I've got 3 copies of this on the US pressings. My cousin kept finding ones and giving them to me. So I've got 3 different copies. I believe they all got 3 different Capitol labels on them. I got a original rainbow label style, I think like an orange label one, and I want to say some other, I can't remember which one, but of course this one does open up and have the little booklet pasted in the inside. I'll just flip through a little of it. I think we're all kind of aware what's going on there, I would think, on that. So gatefold with it with that, and ooh, yeah. Bill Dave did say this was tight in there. It was pretty tight pulling this one out. So let's get the little booklet out. Even this was kind of tight in there. There's the Magical Mystery Tours booklet. And let's take a look. And this one doesn't have the center cut on the plain white sleeve. So I think that's probably a little more... It is polyline though, so thank goodness on that. And of course the rainbow Capitol label. So the first one was kind of a different label since Please Please Me. And from here on out, I think we got Apple, don't we? Well, yeah, we'll see with Mono Masters. I want to call it Past Masters, but yeah, Mono Masters. But yeah, there's side 1 and side 2 of Magical Mystery Tour. Okay, I was able to get it back in there. It is tight, and you do got to have some patience pushing that back in. not to tear everything up in that, but I got it back in all right, even sitting in this weird, awkward position I'm in. Now let's see how I do getting it back into the sleeve. The outer sleeve, I should say. All right, well, not too bad on that one. I think I got a little practice with Sgt. Pepper's because I did get that one back in too with the gatefold and everything. Still got to work on Beatles For Sale. That one was giving me difficulties getting that back into that center cut there. Oh, wow. The White Album. Whereas we got the Embellas Beatles there. The Beatles. They are numbered. I know Beatle Dave said to let them know if the numbers are all the same. So 9036250. I can't remember what his was, so I should have paid more attention to that. I was watching it like late night last night, and I was very tired. I watched the whole video. He had a 40-minute video. I'm sure mine's going to be about that long too. But yeah, I watched this whole video. Stayed awake for it too the whole way, but I just don't remember fine details like that, I guess. Well, let's take a look here. Of course, this one does, we're back to the flip backs on this. Nice big thick spine on this one. Maybe you should be able to see some of that. Show you the back there. Well, just white. I should know that. Show you a little close-up of the number again. And let's take a look at the gatefold. Of course, we got all kinds of goodies here. There's the flip backs on it. All kinds of goodies, and this is top-loaded. Let's see. How can I do this without breaking everything? So pull out disc 1 here, and this is also where the pamphlet's hiding. The Beatles in Mono, the Beatles. There we go. And we'll fold that up and take a look at the disc first. So in the black sleeves with the hole on the one side but not the other. And kind of weird they put the B side on that. Is that how it usually would go? I don't know. I would think the A side would go facing the hole there. But of course we got the Apple label this time. And there is side 1 and side 2 with the cut there. Wow. Just awesome. Just awesome. I'm going to put it back in just like it was packaged, I guess. I'm kind of weird that way. I will pull out the contents of the second sleeve here. Everything coming out there and sliding away. We'll look at the vinyl first and then the goodies. So there we go. Again, they got the cut side, the B side on the hole there. There's side, would that be, do they label it side? Yeah, side 3. There we go. That was what I was thinking. And side 4. Then we got the photo cards, fairly thick stock on them, not crazy thick, but fairly thick. I'll show you the back of John's here, with the kind of that there on that, the artwork, Apple Core Limited. There's Paul, of course, and George should be up next, and Ringo. There we go. I'll get John back up top there. And then, of course, the poster. And I'm not sure if I'm going to unfold this. It does look very kind of matte. I know a lot of the newer recreations of this, it's been kind of glossy, hasn't it? If I remember correct. So this one's very matte, so I think they were kind of going pretty true to that. And they will kind of open up the inside here, but that's as far as I'm going to go with that. But there's the poster. Everything is looking in perfect condition so far, by the way. Okay, there we go. That one sealed back up. Not too bad to get it back in there. And we're down to the last record. And yeah, the box is empty now. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, that does slide out. Okay. We'll take a look at that a little later. Well, let's take a look at Mono Masters first. So there's a Mono Masters, and this one's an oddball because it doesn't come with a resealable sleeve. I wonder why on that. Let me know if you know the answer on that, why this one didn't come with the resealable sleeve, but it is in the shrink wrap, and we are going to open it up. So, yeah. I remember this is one of the few in mono ones I've seen out in a record shop. So, oh, and I used my razor. I was on this going to use the guitar pick plectrum. I guess I got too excited and the razor was just laying right there and I saw it ready to go. But this, I'm not, there's no hype sticker or any other things. I'm just pulling the shrink off and throwing it away. So I'm not worried about cutting anything on that. And it was nice little gap there that I'm not worried about cutting any of the package or anything. But here we got it outside of the shrink. This is of course 3 disc on this one, and I think it's kind of a tri-fold. So there's our first fold on it, and we'll get the tri-fold here. I'll let you kind of look at everything here. I don't know how, I seem like I held the back pretty quick there, but of course all your tracks there, if you want to take a look at that. I'm sure you're fairly aware of it. Anybody watching this type of video I think is a pretty big Beatles fan. So let's see here. So similar sleeves to the White Album with but they got the green apple, the A side on that side, but the polyline black lined, and there's side 1 and side 2. You got disc 2 out of the middle, and now I see they got the cut apple on this side, so I don't know what's going on here. So, and this should be, what, side 3? Yeah, oh yeah, there we go. They got it written out, they got the word 3 written out, not the number 3 on there. That's why my eyes just weren't catching it there. So there we go, there's the side 3 and side 4. There we go with the cut apple there. And this one I think I'm going to put up afterwards too, because this looks like this will be fun to get back in to the sleeves. But we'll get disc 3 out here, and again we got the green apple on the front. So I don't know what they were thinking with this one. Like I said, I'm going to leave it just like I found it, so and try to remember that over the years here. But there's side what would be 5, there we go, and side 6. So, and this is the first one I've seen with a little bit of lint there or something. So interesting. All right, well, yeah, so I was thinking right on that with the Mono Masters, that's going to be a little tricky to get in there. I already kind of showed you kind of just what's in the box there. Nothing. This does just slide out, and it's kind of, so that's interesting on that, just kind of to see. But really nicely protected. This is a super duper box here. Unbelievable. I've been waiting just absolutely, my voice kind of echoing out of there, just a long time to get a copy of this. I knew my sister's ex-husband, his grandfather owned a copy. I never got to see it. I heard him talk about it. I know his grandfather passed, and I've always been curious what happened with that. We don't get as much communication with him now, obviously, being ex, you know, especially like that type of thing. More, how are the kids? Are the kids all right? You know, if he's got the kids, but not how's your grandfather's In Mono Beatles box doing. But he's got the 2014 one, and I'm hoping that his family did something smart with that, or they're all big Beatles fans, so hopefully they're all enjoying it. So, but yeah, I've been wanting to see his. Now I've got my own copy, so I don't need to worry about that anymore. And I'm very happy to own this. I've been wanting this since I started collecting vinyl. You know, I was kicking myself when I remembered seeing it back, you know, in 2014, 2015, on Amazon, just being aware of it, but not, you know, like, well, why would I get that? I'm not, even though I had my record player, I knew I just needed to clean it up and kind of fix it up a little, but because it's my dad's old vintage stereo, and I just never got stuff going until about 2020. I did start purchasing vinyl of my own. I always had my parents' collection. I always was a CD guy. I didn't start purchasing vinyl of my own until probably about 2018, because I know I did get a vinyl copy right away of Egypt Station. I was pretty excited when that came out, and I did pick up a vinyl copy. Believe it or not one of the colored vinyls at the time, but I did get a vinyl copy of that. I know I got the Beach Boys and the London Symphony Orchestra. I think that came out about that time. I also got the Imagine Ultimate Mix one on the clear vinyl, one of the first colored vinyls that I had bought. But I got those all kind of started to kind of get my resurgence into, or my first resurgence into vinyl, because other than that, I just had my parents' collection. I never added to or, anything with theirs. I just would listen to what they had, and I was satisfied enough with that, and I just bought CDs otherwise. And yeah, I just never got around to getting it, and I remember looking at it a time or two, and there was even a time or two I almost was about ready to hit add to my cart and purchase, on Amazon there, but I just never did. So I was more than ecstatic when this came for sale the other day, and I couldn't believe, like, wow, end of May, and it's going to be to me by mid-July, just a month and a half I'm going to have to wait, knowing I got it. And to be lucky enough to have got it right away, I got into that email right away. Like I said, I thought it was a fake email at first. I'm like, oh, come on. And then I'm like, no, this is legit. I actually had two. I think it's when I saw the second one that I realized, oh yeah, because for some reason I get 2 emails from the Beatles store all the time if like a big thing like this comes out. So I think they want us to realize, yeah, that first one you might have threw into the junk mail, but this one's for real here, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, when I saw that second one, I was like, oh wait, there's something going on here, and I paid a little more attention. But yeah, I am really happy. I'm kind of rambling on this now, and I do got other videos to film. I got to get this box back up. Wow. Which I'm going to absolutely enjoy, just putting it back into the box. I think that's going to be so much fun too. I'm just so happy to own this now, and wow, I can't wait to see what the Beatles got in store for us next. And speaking of spending big money on a Beatles product, that's going to be my next video, which you should see on Monday. This, I think, yeah, I'm going to save this for Sunday, even though this is Saturday that I'm filming this. I just want to get it edited and right, and I'm very finicky about posting my videos. I don't feel like this is going to be desperate news, so you'll be seeing this Sunday. And I'll have on Monday, I'm going to have a video speaking about Paul McCartney and the tickets, and did I get some? Yes. All right. So stay tuned for that. Before I do fully get wrapping up here, though, I want to once again thank all my subscribers, and thanks to any new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and do hit the notification bell so you know when I got new videos coming out. Also, please give the video a like. Like I always say, if you've stuck around to this point, you must like it. So please give it a like, and boy, do I like this box. Oh my gosh. I am just ecstatic on this. And also, do leave a comment. I love hearing from you. I love having a conversation with you. And I just want to know what you think on the In Mono box here, being reissued in 2025, the In Mono vinyl. Everything is pretty much what we got in 2014, minus that one little advertisement for Beatles Love, Cirque du Soleil Love. I think it was the album and the show and stuff was kind of advertised on that, but that's the only thing that's different that I can see. Otherwise, everything is the same. Mine seems to be in impeccable shape. I want to know if all of yours are coming that way. I want to know if you were able to get yours. I want to also know if you're on that delayed list. I've heard some rumor on that. I can't believe how quick they got this shipped to us. I always worried ordering from the Beatles store here in North Dakota. It seems like it takes forever for me to get mine. They do usually always ship out from Nashville. And that's where this one originated from too. So I was kind of watching it, all day Thursday, just sat with the label. Friday, it started to move. I was sitting in Wisconsin for a while. I think it moved on to St. Paul, and then finally here this morning, very early this morning, and now to my door, I think sometime around noon. So I'm really, really happy it arrived, and so quickly, and I'm, yeah, so happy to have this in my collection. I am just, wow, blown away. But anyways, let me know all your thoughts on all of it. I hope all of you got reactions much like me. I know several of you have already got the 2014, so no need to get it, but let me know your thoughts on the 2014 one, even, whatever you want to say towards it. I'm happy if you all got yours. I'm happy I got mine, and I'm not happy those reseller people I know got a lot of these too. So if you are looking for this, and I know you want it, and I know you see how cool I think it is, but don't spend that money on it. Make those resellers sit on that thing and eat their money. They paid $600 for it too, about. Make them just sit on it and not, give them the satisfaction of making them a profit of another $600. No, don't do it. So I know you all want it. I sat on the other one, the 2014, for this long. Maybe again, Apple or the Beatles and EMI and Capitol, whoever all is involved, Universal Music, I suppose, will reissue this again in a few years again, with how well this one sold. And, you know, and if you already own the 2014 or now you own the 2025, don't worry about if they reissue it, that it's going to devalue your box. It's not going to devalue your box. To me, this is priceless. I'm not going to sell it to anybody. So it's mine. It's my, you know, I love the Beatles. I love Beatles physical media. This is staying right with me. So that's the value to me. It's so priceless. I don't think anybody can take it off my hands. So make those idiots, those assholes that buy that, just suffer on it. Don't give them the satisfaction of buying it at that. I'm sorry I'm getting into a little rant here, but I got to throw this in here as it's coming to my head, and I feel like I just got to get that little message out there. However, probably nobody's at this point in my video anyway, so, but don't give them the satisfaction of making them make a profit on that. I loved in the UK, it was limited to one per customer, and that's how it should be in the US here too. So hopefully in the future, that's how stuff like this is, because I hate, it's with the Paul McCartney tickets too and everything. It's this resale market and letting everybody profit off of, you know, stuff like this. And I understand, you know, capitalism and that, yeah, you know, we should have the right to, but the only people that should be profiting of anything off of it is like a local record shop and selling it at a normal price, like most of them hopefully would, but who knows, whatever. But yeah, anyways, I am Beatle Dustino, signing out.